Ebukobi is not the problem of Nigeria. Ebukobi is just reaping where many people are reaping. Apostle Bishop Ongedepo is reaping where Ebukobi is reaping, Dunamis, and all of them. So Ebukobi is just one of our Igbo brothers benefiting from the stupidity of people like every other person. So he's not our problem at all.
Like, I dare you to speak against Islam. Okay. You cannot try this thing because you are saying Jesus is this Bible is this. Say they dare you to speak against Islam. Okay, Ihede, how do you react to this popular opinion of people that our ancestors, all the things they did that time was evil and wrong until white men came, basically missionaries? Okay. How do you react to such statement from people?
Okay, when I meet an African man, the first question I ask an African man is, what did your ancestors do that made you call your ancestors evil? And the person will now tell me something like, your ancestors killed twins. And you laugh because this is a man who doesn't have the soundness of knowledge. And what your assignment is to open the tap of knowledge so that the person can download. Because I read things fall apart frequently. Why do I read things fall apart frequently? Things fall apart tells me three things. Number one, who I am. Number two, who I am not. And number three, who my enemies are. And so when you read the things fall apart, you will discover that our ancestors worship the ground, the land. That's why they call them Omenana. That means our ancestors revered the ground and they worship the ground. And the greatest evil against the ground is to spill blood upon the ground. So blood is the highest thing a man who worship the ground is actually fearing. He's allergic to blood. And even when you read things fall apart, you hear that we make sure that two communities are fighting war. In that whole war, they may kill only 5 or 6 people. And everybody's crying, all of us is finished. Before you know it, the communities will send emissaries and peace will be dialogue. You see how they are allergic to blood. Growing up as a child in your vicinity, you don't discover that they says one person died in your whole street. You will discover the whole street is like mourning center. Everybody is calm. People are mourning just one person. That's to tell you how much they revere blood. That somebody died, they are even going to push someone to go and swear that you don't have your hand in his blood. Our ancestors revered blood. And so a person is telling you that your ancestors killed twins. At that time, they are telling you that their ancestors killed twins. The Mayans of Mexico are sacrificing virgins in Mayan temples. And these virgins, they are sacrificing them in their numbers, like massive numbers in Mexico. And those Mexico still have sculptural representation of those their ancestors that they still worship till today. Then when you come to Sweden, Norway, you begin to hear about what is called the Vikings. Which people are doing today, you hear them say, Vikings say, I said so. I said,
that's called.
Yes. Now, these Vikings are people that believe that the more we kill people, that we go to a nation, wipe everybody in that nation, then we will now go to heaven, our own God. So the assignment of the Viking is to come in a community, wipe off everybody in that community and take ownership of that land. And it may even interest you to understand that the people in America today are not the real possession of that American. They were the Europe people, the Britain. They slaughter them anyhow they want. This is how their own culture is. At that same time that this thing is happening, the Romans are calling the British, the barbarians. The Rome will go to British, wipe off thousands of people. It is in their own culture to kill people in mass. That's when you hear massacre. When you read the book of First Samuel chapter 3, verse 14-15, you begin to see where God was talking to Saul. He says, Saul, go to the land of Amalek. He says, kill all the men, kill all the women, kill all the children, kill all the horses. When you say kill all the children, you have a child below 10 years, I think. God is giving assignment to somebody to come to your village and kill that infant child. So you can see their culture is about killing people in mass. It is in their own DNA. And they never even hate their own ancestors because that was the kind of humans that existed in that dimension. But as days is growing, they now, because they have gained mastery in killing, they are now modernizing their own system of killing. But now they are now introducing that system of killing to our generation. And because we are new to violence, it is now intoxicating us. Like you are very frequent in taking weed now, but I don't take weed. So you give me weed for the first time. So it will be intoxicating me. So because they are naturally in themselves killers, they have modernized their system of killing people. They have modernized their own. But the black man is still doing that killing in the way it is done many years back. And so the way you can just see all their histories as killers. But your ancestors, have you not asked yourself, before the white men came, the Hausas are there, the Yorubas are there. Why have we never fought war with the Hausa or the Yoruba? Because we don't believe in violence. We don't believe in coming to another man's land to wipe off everything he has in his land and take ownership of that land. We don't do that. We are demarcated, so we are in peace. In our culture, we fear blood. The first time you can take the whole war that happened before the white men came, we never killed up to 10,000 people. Highest two communities are fighting, they kill 5 and they stop. The first time we learn how to slaughter people is in Biafran war. The white man now brought those missionaries, gave us gun, gave us machetes, and now told us, now you people go and text how to kill people. And because we are new to it, we became intoxicated with destruction. And so we wipe off our hope. When you read things fall apart, Atebe was trying to tell you that this thing was written out of pain of a people that have a culture that preserve the blood of a generation. That was why when 50 Cent rose up and says, I want to use that things fall apart for a song, I will pay you $1 million. At that time, $1 million can buy everybody in Anambra. It will make Chinua Achebe the richest man in the whole world. Chinua Achebe says, no, I don't want your $1 million. And 50 Cent changed the name of that song to All Things Fall Apart, because Chinua Achebe when they interviewed Chinua Achebe, why did you reject 50 Cent's offer? He says that book was written out of pain, of a people that was destroyed. So it is not a thing to make fun of. It was not a joke. So when you read things fall apart, you discover your ancestors fear blood and revered blood. And somebody is telling you now that your ancestors knows how to kill. Kill more than who? Did they kill more than the Romans emperor that comes to the land of people and wipe everybody off there? Did they kill more than the English people that comes and use bomb and wipe off a whole nation and take away their land? Do you know that raping was celebrated in Vikings? The more number of girls you rape, the more number of your chances of going to heaven. But in our culture, we have ladies who wear almost naked thing, and we are not aroused to rape anybody. Because our culture, we respect the virginity of a woman. That's why our assignment is to always give our ladies away to husband as a virgin. And when you brought your woman inside the house and you discover she's a virgin, you send a goat to appreciate your in-law that they give you untouched. You see. So somebody is now coming to tell you that your ancestors killed virgin, and now taking the ancestors of the people that wipe off the nations of other. When you read the Bible, you see where God is commissioning people to go and wipe off nations. You can see where God was telling Israelites. Joshua chapter 6 from verse 17 to 19. God began to speak. He says, everything in Jericho must be destroyed. That means all the man, all the woman, all the children in Jericho must be destroyed. Kill them and take away the land, he says. But when you finish killing them, in verse 19, Joshua says, he says, bring all the gold and the bronze into the temple of God. Do you now discover what I said, that God is government of the day of the European? The same obsession they have for gold and silver in today is the same obsession they have in Joshua 6 verse 19. It says, when you finish killing them, bring their gold and their silver to our temple. That's to tell you the commissioning. If you read 1 Samuel 24 verse 10, the Bible says David, who is the king of Israel, committed a sin. Thank you. Okay, leave it so that the sound will not enter. He says David committed a sin against God. He says, and ask God for forgiveness. 2 Samuel 24 verse 10. He says, God came down to David and says, I have heard your cry when you have asked for forgiveness, but I give you 3 options. Number 1, it says 7 years of famine throughout the land of Israel. It says number 2, 3 years of fighting war and freeing from your enemies. It says number 3, 3 days of plague all around the Israelites. The Bible recorded that David chose 3 days of plague throughout the land of Israel. And God came down the next day and inflicted Israel with plague and killed 70,000 people because of the sin of David. And the funny thing is that David did not die. The son of David did not die. But God killed 70,000 people for the sin of a man called David. 2 Samuel chapter 24 verse 10. You discover this God is actually a man who take appetite in killing people. We don't know what is massacre. We never killed any person to take his land. The highest thing we respect in our culture is land boundaries. When 2 communities begin to have issue of land boundaries, they can say, now do you say this land belongs to you? He says, yes, okay. Come. Give us a candidate of your village. Let's go and swear. If we swear and survive 1 year, we will now leave the land and know that the land belongs to you. We revere blood. Even when we are fighting war, the war is just kill 5-10 people, automatically everybody shouts name. That's how much we fear blood in our nation. The white man is ready to wipe off everybody to take away your nation. So when they do that, it's killing to win. Those are the things done in centuries when men are evolving. When men are still living like animals, but that when you come to intelligence, you now begin to ask yourself, this my ancestors that I'm talking, that I'm making mockery of, is the other man ancestor better than them? Now, your ancestors in their days created everything they used. We are wearing a cap, a shirt, and all of that. None of these things, fabrics come from this country. It was imported in this nation. Both the phone we are using to do this thing, both my laptop bag and the laptop inside it, everything was imported. In the days of my ancestors, everything they used were created by them. And you see a market in our days. A market is a place where producers of all kinds of products comes to sell their products and make profit. Not a place where people goes to bring products from outside the country or another place to come and sell, to frustrate the indigenous producers and make everybody money dependent. And so when you come, you now see a man is producing agbo. That's when they used to climb palm tree. A man is producing palm wine. A man is producing metals, all kind of things. We know metal before the white men came. It comes to the market to exchange for goods and services. Once we become civilized, our civilization becomes, now we now depend on the white men to produce all we need. Just like a fowl is dependent on the owner to provide it food, like an agric fowl, to provide everything the fowl need. And the okwa is getting a fowl. Okwa says, no, you will not provide for me. I will go out and hunt for myself because I know I have seen how you kill one okoko when you have visitors. You have been providing all these things for one koko in the name that you love him. But anytime your friend visits you, you go and bring one koko and kill it. So let me run away from my dear life and go and do for me all the things you have been doing for one koko. This is what happened in China. China says, nice one, we have seen how you are taking care of Africa. We love you so much. Don't bring your goods here. We will provide our own by ourselves. They went home, did Chinese Renaissance. Chinese Renaissance is return to culture. Culture is the people's way of life. They abandon all foreign religion. You are not permitted to practice Islam or Christian in China. You must be Buddha or you'll be a free man. Because the first thing the people will do is to return to culture to be able to solve cultural problem. Because all we are having is cultural problem. The clothes we are wearing is cultural problem. Everything we have, the food we eat is cultural problem. So when we come to culture, we now begin to think about how to build weapons to defend our land. How to build everything. In fact, a return to culture and the quest to engineer technology will automatically arise. That's why every nation, when they want to engineer change, they do cultural renaissance. Tokyo did it in Japan. When Tokyo woke up, you discover there are many churches in Japan. Tokyo rose up in 1630 something and declared that everybody who is a Christian in Japan will be killed. They killed over 30,000 people in that journey. And people are causing Tokyo. They say, why is this president killing all Christians? He wants to finish us. But when he finished killing those Christians, Japan now return back to senses and they begin to create. Japan now have the best machine in the whole world. Anytime they told that this engine is manufactured in Japan, you know it's a solid one.
Yes.
Many years later, Japan now come back and saw the good work Tokyo did for them. They now says, okay, we are now going to name the capital of Japan, Tokyo, as a respect to this man that led the revolution, that killed the people that came to plant the seed of faith. Where in our nation, where we need the seed of reasoning. My assignment is to lead that same revolution again. Maybe it will not be forced to kill people, but by so many ways, by one way or the other, we are going to reinstitute a system back which we will crucify the seed of faith and come back to the seed of reasoning. This is my big assignment.
Thank you very much. You hear the light of Africa. Please, we've spent a lot of time here, and I think you that is watching us, you might have one question you would like to ask him. Just drop it in comment section. Maybe next time we'll use those topic and ask him. You understand? So, but here, I want to ask you one question. The kind of hatred I see on internet, people that are against what you preach. Have you witnessed any physical confrontation by anybody?
Any physical confrontation? Somebody coming to
fight you?
No, I've not received physical confrontation, but I've received police threats.
Because of this thing?
Yes, I've not received like somebody coming to fight me, but somebody have actually told me that he writes a petition for me in the police and so I'm going to come and answer. So the police people called me one or two things happened and they settled the case even before I got there, because the person says I'm insulting his Jesus and all of that. So they now told the person that just Christ is not a personality. It's something that free people are have freedom of expression. So that was why, if you look at my content, I don't attack people. Like, I don't drag people. Like coming to call a Bukobi or call a particular man of God. No, I don't do that, because I know my boundaries. I know my boundaries. I respect people's boundaries. Ebukobi is not the problem of Nigeria. Ebukobi is just reaping where many people are reaping. Apostle Bishop Ongedepo is reaping where Ebukobi is reaping, Dunamis, and all of them. So Ebukobi is just one of our Igbo brothers benefiting from the stupidity of people like every other person. So he's not our problem at all. If you succeed in killing Ebukobi, many other people will be there manipulating people now. So the problem is not Ebukobi. The problem is to fight the problem. Once the people hate the ideology of Jesus Christ, everybody will stop going to church.
Okay, another comment I remember, so many people were like, I dare you to speak against Islam. Okay. You cannot try this thing because you are saying Jesus is, this Bible is this. Say they dare you to speak against Islam.
Thank you so much. You know that you cannot speak about something you not have experiential knowledge about.
Okay.
All my life, I've never been an Islam. So how do I speak against something I am not involved into?
Yes.
And then when you look in my environment, I'm speaking on practical experiences so that I will not talk false information. I was never a Muslim. Since I was a human being, I've never seen a Muslim church, a Muslim come outside and preaching to people to come out and give your life to Islam in the streets. I've never seen that. I've never seen where a Muslim is telling people that about end time, or that a Muslim is going to cover the road with the blood of Jesus Christ, or Muslim is going to, that in the name of Allah, that so and so will happen. I've never seen. If you see Muslims, Muslims believe that their God not pass them. Like you see Tinubu, when he come out, he says, "I will win." He did not say in the name of Allah we win. You're saying I will win. That means he understands his own self. You will never see where they build a mosque and they will tell that this mosque belongs to this person.
It's true.
No, the mosque belongs to a community. That's how they do it. But when you come to my side, you see 1, 2, 3, 4. You don't understand. This one is a pure business. So I don't talk about Muslims, not because they are perfect, but because I don't have their experiential knowledge. And they don't bother my own environment. So what I'm doing is to recruiting people. Like when you come to my WhatsApp group, I pour fire upon people. So if you are Islam and you are a victim of Islam, you will be speaking about them in your own area. And if you are a Christian and you're a victim of Islam, you'll be speaking about. And people are equally victim of women. Yes. I'm telling you honest truth. Like there's a place in Abia State. They told them that Chukwu Kabiama is living there. So when they arrested Nnamdi, they told them to come and bring Osisi, and one person will be bringing Osisi with about 800,000 naira. So many of people went there. Understand? They are victims of women. I've told people that there's nothing like Chukwu Kabiama, just a figment of a poor man. Nothing like Chukwu Kabiama. What our ancestors know is our gods. That means your father is your God. When your mother, if your father did not pour that sperm, you will not come into existence. So an ideology of Chukwu Kabiama living in the sky is a figment. When you read, things fall apart. From beginning to end, you will never see any Igbo man that his name starts with Chukwu. Chukwu Ode, Chukwu Buikem, or Chukwu Nka, or the one things fall apart. After then things fall apart, but Konkwo, Nwolie, Ezima, Onoka, Ofebu, Onwe Chukwu the ideology of Chukwu. That's the creator of everybody. You even begin to ask yourself, which God create an antelope and the lion and allow the lion to be eating an antelope? just like that.
Okay, if we allow here to pour out the whole knowledge he has, today we cannot be able to finish it. Thank you for giving me the attention to speak with you. Please, audience, drop your comments. What do you think about all this whole thing? Your own opinion. Do you think he's saying the truth, or do you think he's not making sense? I want you to drop it in comment section. And if you would like me to ask him any question furthermore, drop it so that if I compile it, I'll come back again and ask him. Remember, I am jobless father. I got no work. So if you get work, holla at your boy.
Thank you so much. Thank you, my fans. I always promise to remain steadfast in bringing this liberation to Africa. And it will take time, resistance, ostracizing from your loved ones, but in our consistency, consequences of defending error, we make people to rejuvenate our light. And we are writing our name in the history of unforgettable. So be steadfast in anywhere you are preaching this awakening. In the end, we will win. Thank you so much.
Thank you.